Hi, I think we are live. Just give me a second to check whether if I'm live on Facebook right now. That's 6 days ago. Let's come back to this one. Okay, looks I'm live. All right, guys. Yeah, welcome back to Ask Jason Anything Sunday Night Show, and this is episode 143. So what I do here mainly is answering questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. If you are new to me, welcome. My name is Jason from Malaysia. I specialize in Facebook ads strategy, optimization, and stuff like that. I've been doing this since 2010. So yeah, I used to run an agency. Now I mainly work with brands, agencies, and brand owners mainly on Facebook ads or Meta ads optimization. So if you are running ads and you are looking to like level up your campaign performance by really build a plan to like optimize one thing at a time, one variable at a time, to improve your campaign performance without it really like breaking the bank. Because a lot of people would think that in order to get more results with Facebook ads, we need to spend more money. Not necessarily the case. I've actually worked with a lot of brands that actually improve their campaign performance without actually spending more. I'm not saying that spending more doesn't work. It works, but then like sometimes you spend, let's say, for example, increasing 20% ad spend may not result in 20% increase in the revenue as well. So there are many things. Like when it comes to Facebook ads or Meta ads optimization, I actually mainly separate them into two main factors. One is the on ad optimization, whereby we actually work on the advertisement part of things, like the creative, the audience targeting, the placement, even the objective optimization and stuff like that. Because if you're able to, let's say, like improve the CTR by 50%, for example, that means spending the same amount of money, you get 50% more clicks. Do you think it might result in 50% more results? Possible. I'm not saying that it's 100% going to happen, but possibly, right? So that's part of the optimization we do. And off ad optimization is really something that we work on, the like the landing page, the customer journey. Like I've seen cases where you have a lot of visitors on your website, but it's not working. So then we dive in and find out that, oh, you probably brought in the wrong people to your campaign. That's the reason why these people are not taking action on your campaign. So that's on your advertisement, on your landing page. They're not buying, they're not converting because wrong people. They were not interested, but you brought them in with a deceptive ad, for example. And when they come to the landing, it was not really like, strong enough in terms of persuading and encouraging them to take the next step. So that's what's going to happen. So eventually we find optimization opportunities, and we work on one point at a time. So if you're interested to really improve your campaign performance that way, reach out to me and I'll guide you on how to, kind of like apply it to our optimization program. Okay. Now, yeah. So a little bit of sharing, because there were people coming to me asking me, what do I do exactly? I mean, like I seems to go live every Sunday over here, and what's in it for me? Why am I doing this thing? Because I mean, mainly I really want to have more advertisers, like to actually get better results. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. So yeah, and basically what we do here is this is Ask Jason Anything. So what I'm doing here is I actually go live every Sunday night to answer questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing. So if you have any questions about Facebook advertising, you can actually pop your question. I mean, first thing first, go to my YouTube channel. Okay, try to search for an answer, because I've been answering questions about Facebook ads and digital marketing for about 3 years now. So chances are the question that you are having right now might be something that I've discussed before. So try to search for an answer first. Okay, go to my YouTube channel, try to look for it. If you cannot find anything that is relevant, do not worry. All you need to do is, then you can actually post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over here on the Sunday night to answer your questions. So do not expect me to reply to your comment, because I do not believe in back and forth conversation, because technical things like Facebook advertising, I don't think it's effective to be conversed that way. So I would actually bring it up and answer your questions. If you ask any questions, come back on the next Sunday to listen to my answers. But of course, if you are here, feel free to pop your questions in the comment. I'm actually seeing somebody popping questions here and there already. So yeah, so thanks for the questions. So what I'm going to do is we will actually go through all the questions that we have here, okay, that I've captured on my YouTube channel. Then I'll come back to your questions that are actually doing live here. So for those who are asking questions over there, so please be patient. Wait for me until the end of the session and I'll cover your questions, okay? Now let's come back to this. Yeah, so I mean, just in case, because I answer questions and this is a one-way communication in a way, because I take your question and I answer your question, but sometimes we need like kind of discussion, and you might have something urgent that you want to actually go over and all that. If you have, like really you need something quick and fast, all you need to do is you can scan this QR code. It will take you to my Fiverr gig, and over there you can just buy me a meal, buy me a dinner, okay? And then after that, you can actually schedule a 30-minute one-on-one discussion with me, and we can actually answer your questions. We can look at your campaign. We can, like just tackle anything that you have in your mind about Facebook advertising. So that's where you can actually get quick answers from me. Okay, so scan this QR code and we can actually, have a chat. Now, the first question that I get here is coming from Janix. So the question is really about Facebook Pixel and Conversion API. And Janix is saying, it doesn't make sense to track conversion twice, this is what we call the, like the pixel deduplication. You need to actually go through pixel deduplication. Now, this is really something that is not as straightforward because it has got a lot to do with the system that you are using. And of course, the mechanism of installing the metapixel and the conversion API. Now, what usually happen to most of the, like the pixel or conversion API is, it actually record the conversion twice. There are many possibilities. To be frank, I'm not a technical person. I won't be able to really address all the possibilities over here. But one of the possibility is you probably installed the pixel in a way that kind of like it actually tracks it as a double event. So usually what we will actually do is first thing first, we will need to make sure that the pixel is installed correctly. And, we do not have kind of like this double installing kind of thing that is happening. And then we also want to make sure that the conversion API is actually installed correctly. And then after that, in the pixel event manager itself, there are some deduplication mechanism that actually kind of help us to reduce the possibility. But having said that, right, and it's not something that can, we cannot really solve the whole thing on our own over here. We need support from the, the system provider, the service provider. So usually we work with the service provider to kind of like tackle the problem. So this is something a lot more technical. So every case is actually kind of unique itself. But having said that, what we would do is usually if we are not able to solve this, like for example, if you are using a system that do not have very strong support, what we will do is we will actually do some manual calculation. So basically, let's say, if it's really double, then we know that, 10 conversions means 5 conversions. So in that situation that we actually have to do our manual, tracking over here. But then again, like if you really, some people are actually very kind of like very particular and they really want the whole thing to be perfectly tracked in the proper way, which in my opinion is quite impossible as well, because we have this iOS 14.5 issue, which is some of the iOS devices are not allowing all this tracking, and some of the tracking might miss because they go beyond the conversion window. So yeah, but having said that, what I would like to really stress here is Metapixel and Meta Conversion API is actually mainly meant for conversion tracking and attribution, and really it's not a track like analytical tools. So we mainly use it for advertising purposes to make sure that like we capture as much conversion as possible, and and within the conversion window and the duration that we're actually tracking. But then again, having said that, if you're actually using this for analytical purposes, I actually recommend that we fall back to the Google Analytics. That's what I think. But having said that, if you have some issue with double tracking, conversion duplication kind of issue, try to reach out to your service provider to see if they have any solution for that. Otherwise, then we probably have to do a little bit of manual tracking, because really this is something that I personally do not have a very solid solution to that. And working with some of the experts around with some clients and all that, we can only reduce to minimum. We can't really kill this for 100% for now, and we can't really track all the conversion 100% as well. So that's what's happening. So just so that this is really something that we have to kind of like live with right now. But I do believe that Meta is doing a lot of things to actually reduce the duplication, like conversion duplication issue. And so far, after working on a few things here and there, my own website is doing pretty okay right now. We don't have this issue. And, most of my clients are actually kind of like not having this issue. But having said that, if you still have that, try to work with a service provider and then, try to see what are the things that we can do. Yeah. So do not reach out to me because this is really something that beyond my expertise, because I'm not a technical person. I'm a strategist. I work on strategy and ads performance kind of thing. But yeah, if you have that issue, try to reach out to a technical expert. Okay. Right. So that's the question. Then the next one is coming from, Yemis. I'm not sure. Anyway, so question is, you are actually experiencing high CPM because this video is about high CPM and you can't reach your audiences. I don't really understand what you mean by you can't reach your audiences, but I would say that probably you are actually having some issues where you're not really reaching a lot of people. So the CPM is high. That's why you're not reaching a lot of people. Now, I want to help you understand CPM. You see, here's the thing. All right. I want to get this off the hook right away. Sometimes, in fact, when we know what we are doing, like, sometimes we allow high CPM because when we are reaching a very specific niche of audiences that are highly difficult to target, CPM naturally comes high. So when the CPM is high, but we are getting the people to take action with effective ads and effective messaging and effective conversion, kind of like customer journey, as long as we are getting results that is satisfactory, meaning like we are making money or we are making progress, we are getting good high quality leads, we tolerate high CPM. But having said that, you need to understand what is CPM. CPM is cost per thousand impression, and this is a metric that you can't really have much control over because cost per thousand impression is the real cost that you're paying when you're running ads on Facebook. They charge you every 1,000 times they show your ads to your audience, and this is a fluctuating metric. Meaning when there are more competitors competing for the same audience, the CPM naturally comes up high. So vice versa. So it's really something that you have no control. So what we really need to focus on is sometimes a lot of people actually kind of get obsessed with specific metrics. Like in your situation, I hope you're not, but if you are actually being obsessed with CPM, but your conversion and everything is doing all right, I would say you probably have to take a step back and look at more metrics in a combination to really help you get a better understanding about your campaign performance instead of like just focusing on the CPM and say that it's not working because the CPM is coming up too high. But having said that, if your CPM is coming up high and you're not getting results, then probably you can actually, a few angles to look at. First, work on the audience, broaden the audience and see whether we can actually reach more people, allowing the campaign to reach more people, which is beneficial to reduce your CPM. Now, the second option is probably you can actually consider switching the conversion. Meaning, like, let's say, for example, now you're actually going for purchase and you have a relatively new e-commerce website, for example. Facebook may not have enough data to show and to find the right people who might do the same thing. So go for the lower action, which is like maybe consider traffic, okay, and aim for landing page view. Bring in more people in first and, let Facebook learn a lot more about the audiences that you are, that are connected to you. And from there, over time, improves the the so-called the understanding Meta has on your business, and eventually when they are more stable, then you can actually switch it back to conversion. So this is a few recommendations that I can actually give you. But having said that, every campaign is unique. So if you have high CPM and you're not really reaching your audiences because it's too high, and you're still not getting the result that you want, you can actually reach out to me. Because this is really something that I cannot just answer your question right away. We need to dive into your campaign and really find out what's happening. What's happening? Like, is it because of the audience? Is it because of the creative? Sometimes CPM can become high because your creative is not working. Because Meta may penalize advertisements that are not really getting people to take action, and they might get higher CPM. So we need to really pinpoint and find out the problems that you're really having, and I would actually give you some recommendations about things that you can do to hopefully improve your campaign performance. So if you want to do that, you can scan this QR code and buy me a dinner. So what we do here is, we can actually schedule a 30-minute one-on-one discussion to dive into your campaign. What I'm going to do is I'm going to really like draw a plan, and I'm going to give you an action plan on what are the things that you can work on, step A, B, C, for example, like things that you can do, hopefully to improve your campaign performance. So this is actually part of optimization that we do anyway. So if you need that, scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, and we can do it together over Zoom. Okay. So so that's that. Thanks for the question. Next, we have the question coming from Reddit Insights. So the question is, how can you contact Facebook? Okay, now this is a very straightforward question. I'm just going to give you the answer real quick. So there are two ways to contact Facebook, but not everybody has the options right now. But I'm just going to walk you through anyway. So let's bring it up. So first thing first, it's coming, it's in your business manager. So this is your business manager. So let's say you go all the way down at the bottom here, okay? You see this help. Oh, wait, I think it's blocking it. So yeah, on the left, can you see? On the left, there is this help. So click on help, okay? And eventually on the right-hand side, this will open and, to see if there's anything that you have. So you can actually create a new case if you have the option. Wait, did I say create a new case? Or you can actually create a new chat. Create a new case or create a new chat. Usually, yeah, they say create a new case. And then, it's something else. And then eventually other issues, you just have to look at whatever. So let's say just go for one of it, for example, and then pick the issues. And yeah, just, I don't know. Seriously, I'm just clicking around and eventually you can actually get help at the bottom here. So there is an option. There will be a point where you can actually have a chat. So let me move the button to somewhere else. So you see that there is a chat option. So usually what you want to get here is to get to the chat. And eventually, once they start a chat with you, they will follow up with a call. So that's how you can actually contact Meta support. Now, if you don't have this option, if you, let's say relatively you have a newer Facebook business manager and you may not be able to get this option. So the next way to get in here is to get into your Meta Business Suite. Okay, same thing here. Let's move to the left. So in the Meta Business Suite on the left hand side, there is also this help. Okay, and then you can actually, there should be an option that, this is because I have it in the business manager. When I was working with another client, where we couldn't find this in the business manager, they have it here. So clicking help opens up somewhere else, and you should be able to actually just, try to get to them. But having said that, like I say, not everybody has all these options. Okay, so if you have permanent ban issue and all that, you might actually blocked from any way to contact Meta. So this is really something that we cannot really help. But I just want to point, since you asked the question, I just give you some options that you can do really to, hopefully navigate and find way to talk to Meta. So that's how it works. Okay, just a quick one. All right, thanks for the question. Next one, we have Ocean Break Media. So it's a question about verifying Meta Business Manager. So if you don't have a legal document, will you still be able to get it verified? No. Okay. In order to verify your business manager, you need to have a verified, that's like you need to have a legal document, as in like you need to have a business registered with the same name. And then, I have not done this for a while now, I think for a year or two, because most of my business, clients, they get it verified themselves. At one point when I was doing it, you need a landline, you need a phone number that they can call in order to get it verified. And the process may not be as straightforward. In different countries, they may have different so-called, like rules or something like that. So yeah, so that's, if you don't have a legal document, if you ask me, the quick answer to that is you are not able to do that anyway. So yeah, you can't. Okay, now, so I'm just gonna leave this real quick. So just in case if you have any questions that you, like if you really need quick help from me, that you have some questions, you want me to look at your situation, because not every questions can be answered this way. You can't just pose a question. You can't pose your metrics and anything to me anyway. So if you want to do that, you can actually scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, and we can actually spend 30 minutes together to look at your whatever situations you have, and I'm gonna give you recommendations about what you can do next. Anyway, I'm just gonna go through some of the questions over here. Quite a few of them. Thank you for joining me. And first is coming from Fatih. So Fatih is saying, lately, every digital marketing expert says you should use broad targeting and focus on creative. What do you think about it? Okay, now my quick answer is there is no right or wrong on this thing. Okay, I've seen some successes with broad targeting. I've seen some, like some failed cases with broad targeting because the business is actually a lot more niche. So in my opinion, the creative is important because that's how the algorithm learn about you. That's how your audience know what you're selling. So that is another question. So I definitely agree with that. You have to focus on your creative because that's the first way that people understand what you do and the algorithm understand what you do, because both are beneficial to help you reach the right audiences. Now, when it comes to audience targeting, my take on broad or not broad is if you're selling something that is more generic, going broad is fine. But if you're selling something that is very niche, let's say if you're selling some investment seminars, for example, this is really something that not everybody wants. So in that situation, you probably have to look for people who are, like sort of like shown interest in related industries or topics or detailed targeting options that you have. So yeah, that might help you get better audience. But having said that, everything actually has to be, we have to put them to test to really know what's working and what's not working. Okay, now the next question coming up here from Fateh is, and also you're new at digital marketing, you tested different creatives and, like view content because the hook rate and average watch time, then you open purchase conversion and open broad targeting. Uh-huh. And okay, so your question is it okay? And you say like, also what's the average CPMs for new campaign and new Facebook ad account? Okay, now let's come to this. The first one, your question is it okay to, like go for view content, then, like only you actually do purchase conversion and open? I mean, if you ask me, my quick answer to this is the way, I mean, different so-called experts may have, or different advertisers may have different kind of a school of thought or whatever, here. But in my opinion, I would actually not spend much resources on getting views, because in my opinion, views doesn't result to clicks. So in my opinion, my focus is very simple. Go for an action that matters to your business. Deeper action, I mean. I always start with purchase if you ask me if this is the situation. Yeah. So because when I'm optimizing for purchase, I will start to get all these views, clicks, and all these kind of thing. But when I really clearly define my optimization, what I really want, Meta actually helps me by really working to help me getting people who are likely to take that final action that I'm targeting. So usually that's how I would actually do that. So that's what I think. Okay. Next, you coming here is if you're asking for average CPM for new campaign and new ads accounts, I don't have an answer. Yeah. Different objective has different CPM. Okay. Audience targeting. Location. Okay. I handle clients from different countries. Different countries, when they are using the same objective, targeting the same amount of audiences and all that, they see different CPMs. Like, for example, Singapore, traditionally the CPM is usually about 4 to 5 times higher than Malaysia. So I don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry. Okay. But having said that, my take is start running ads, benchmark your own CPM, and like measure from there. It's what I do. Okay. Right. So yeah, what's up, Marn Ho? Okay, thanks for coming. And Jasmine is asking, is Facebook retargeting require minimum amount of numbers of engagement only effective? Generally, for example, if you're retargeting people who visited your website, based on my understanding, yes, there is a minimum, but we don't have an exact answer for sure. But we usually aim for 200 people. So if you are doing a 7-day retargeting and you track only about like 50 people landed on your website in the last 7 days, you probably have to lengthen the audience, the retargeting duration to maybe 14 days or even 30 days, because you need to have enough people in the pool to kick start. So that's definitely, you have a minimum. So that's right. Yeah. So it's either you bring in more people by spending more money on the top of funnel, or you actually, like lengthen the retargeting duration. So that's what I do. Okay, right, thanks. Now, I want to really go through a question that I get a lot, when it comes to when I'm talking to my clients, my consulting clients, those people who actually book a gig on Fiverr and all. So this question is, when Facebook ads gets too high, the question is about Facebook ads costs are getting too high. What is happening and what can we do? Now, first thing first, you have to understand Facebook ads costs getting too high may not be a bad thing. Because if the cost is high and your result is still fantastic, I'm fine with it. Like, that's my bottom line. Okay. Let's say my cost per lead is let's say $100. Even I've seen some $100 cost per lead, but my conversion rate is 10%, meaning every 10 leads, I get one sale. And that's a very high value sale. I'm spending about only $1,000 to get one sale. That's totally okay for me, because I understand that the margin that I'm getting. So as long as my, I'm still making money, that shouldn't be something that you worry about, because some industry are so niche that is so difficult to get. But if we are able to get to the quality of it, okay, as long as we have it. But having said that, you might actually get high cost, but you're not converting. Then we have to look at different angles to look at it. Like first thing first, okay, when the cost is actually getting too high, let's say for example, your cost per lead was lower and now it's getting higher. First thing first, you probably have to look at what is really happening right now. My first recommendation you have to check is to see whether your CPM was so much higher than your previous CPM. So because this is really something that you have to understand. CPM is something that we have no control over. Certain times CPM can be lower, certain times CPM can be higher because it really depends on the market competition. Okay, so your audience that you're targeting maybe are too niche and you're actually getting high CPM. So you might actually want to consider broaden your audience targeting to see whether the CPM can comes down, because when the CPM is high, you reach lesser people with the same amount. But when the CPM gets lower, you reach more people with the same amount that you're spending. So reaching more people is the key. So try to work on the CPM. So yeah, so that's one thing. And CPM is also affected by the conversion. I mean, the like objective selection as well. So you probably have to switch. Let's say, for example, if you are doing lead gen and the lead form is getting expensive, you can actually try to actually switch for other lead gen mechanism like landing page, like for example, Messenger. I don't know, WhatsApp. There are many ways of actually getting leads in a way on Meta, on Facebook, and Instagram. So sometimes in certain industry or in certain country, certain method may be a little bit more exhausted already and people are not responding. So you probably have to look at, is it because of the behavior problem? So that's that. Yeah. Another possibility that might lead to high ad cost is, like the creative that is really not working. So let's say your CTR is really, really low. That means your audiences are not taking action. Hence, of course, the result is not coming in. That's why, like you need to actually reach a lot more people in order to get one result. That's why the cost is going to come out as well. So if the CTR is really bad, then you have to look at your creative as well. But having said that, Facebook ads cost getting high maybe actually caused by many different issues and many different possible factors that are affecting the Facebook ads cost. So I was actually giving you just now a few options to look at, but we really have to look at the campaign data to find out what's really happening. So if you're facing issues about Facebook ads cost getting too high and you're worried about it, you want to find out what are the steps that you can do to fix it. I would strongly recommend that you actually scan this QR code so that we can actually do a campaign review on whatever that you're working on right now, on the current campaign that you're doing. What's really causing the problem that causes your Facebook ads cost to become high? So what we're going to do is we're going to have a Zoom call. I'll scan this QR code. You're going to buy me a dinner for that. Okay, then we will spend 30 minutes on a Zoom call, and you share your screen. We will dive into your campaign, and I'm going to pull out certain metrics, and I'm going to actually draw you a plan about like let's say probably this is really the problem. The CTI is bad. Try to look for different creative and all that. So I'm going to give you an action plan that you can actually follow, hopefully to improve your campaign performance. So if you're having issue with your Facebook ads cost getting too high, and you need me to look at your campaign to give you recommendations to do next, what to do next, scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, and we can do that together. Okay? Right. And before we go, Jasmine has this question about, can we know whether the cost per lead high due to market competition? Any parameters from Facebook would tell us this? CPM, yeah. CPM is one of them. Usually, if you talk about competition, usually we will look at the CPM. So yeah, but CPM high, competition, so what? You get what I mean, Jasmine? A lot of industry has really high competition, but that doesn't stop us from running ads. What we need to do is we need to draw a plan that make our ad work. You get what I mean? I hope it makes sense. So yeah, like for example, I work with a lot of clients from, let's say, Singapore. Real estate is super competitive, but all of them are making money. You get what I mean? But we just have to work out a plan that actually converts. That's the whole idea, So yeah. Okay, thanks for the question. And so basically that's what we have. If you like having any issue with your campaign, you want to find out what's happening and how can you improve your campaign performance, scan this QR code, buy me a dinner, and we can actually spend 30 minutes diving into your campaign, and I'm going to give you an action plan on what to do next. Okay, with that, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks. And same thing. I'll see you next week, Sunday night at 10 p.m. With that, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and have a fantastic week ahead. Good night. Bye.